Lizzo has a meltdown after flop. If I'm not mistaken, Lizzo dropped an album or something of that sort, and it did not do well. Miss, I've been fat and I've been skinny, and still ain't with me. You know what I'm saying? It seems like it's starting to F with her a little bit. They starting to get in her head a little bit because she crashing out online. You're never supposed to crash out online. You feel me? Except me. Sometimes I crash out online. I got problems. I don't know. It is what it is. You feel me? But anyway, let's get into the video, man.
Where everybody doesn't want to
Oh, video is by Hello You Send Extras if you guys wanted to lock in with him, you feel me?
go of the new music industry and pop artists after it. And this all started back in May when she decided to promote her upcoming album BITCH. And in early May, she would talk about some of the challenges that she was having promoting it. This album was set to release on June 5th.
Hi, I'm Lizzo. I have an album coming out in 23 days, and I bet you nobody even knows that. I'll tell you why. Full disclaimer, last time I made a video like this, I got some hate on the internet because people were like, oh, she's just mad that she's flopping. But in person, in real life, real people in the industry came up to me and said, thank you for saying what you said because everybody else is too scared to say it. So I'm gonna end this disclaimer by saying, I don't really care what somebody on the internet who's never done this before has to say about it because you don't know what you're talking about, and I do. The algorithm-based way that social media functions now is destroying the music industry. Now, when I say the music industry, I don't mean music culture. I don't mean the good music that's out. I don't mean
She crashing out about the algorithm? Crashing out about the algorithm? Let's see where this goes, but it's already starting to sound like it don't make sense. It don't make I'm pretty sure Lizzo has millions of followers on Instagram, probably TikTok, all that stuff. Like, the algorithm ain't disliking you. You know what you mean? You good. You good. You feel me? Anyway.
our ability to connect via social media to music. I'm talking about the actual industry that allows artists to sell their music for profit. Because if your algorithm is super serving you things out of order of when they're happening, then the general public has no idea when music is actually coming out. I have had several occasions where there were artists whose music I was actually looking forward to I completely missed because I didn't realize it was out because my algorithm didn't tell me. And I don't want to blame everything on the algorithm. Of course, we curate our own reality. However, back in the day, which was maybe even just 5 years ago, we used to get things chronologically. Because of streaming and social media and our post-COVID chronically online society, most of music marketing is online. Not to mention, budgets are therefore, music marketing relies heavily on social media. But now, ever since the algorithm has been showing us things out of order, baby, there's actually no way to successfully promote an album where everyone knows your album is coming. Now, mind you, when I say everyone knows your album is coming, that doesn't mean whether they care or not that it's coming. Believe it or not, once upon a time, there were...
Hey, bruh. I knew Iceman was dropping. You know what I'm saying? I knew Iceman was dropping. You know what I'm saying? I don't know a lot about a lot of albums. Iceman, I knew that shit was coming out, boy. You feel me? When Don Toliver was dropping, I knew that shit was coming out, big dog. You feel me? They had a whole rollout. I ain't seen not one Lizzo rollout. However, it did seem like Lizzo started to get a lot of backlash, and she never really bounced back from when the girls kind of sued her or called her out for bullying, and then having them do weird things like her backup dancers and stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty sure she was like body shaming them type ish, just a whole lot of crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then she come on the net crying about the algorithm and trying to be all super nice-ickers, you know what I mean? But I'm sure she's not a terrible person, you feel me? But I don't think she ever bounced back from that. You feel me? And then also, like, a big part of her whole brand was that body positivity type thing. Like, I'ma be who I wanna be, who I am. Which, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Do your big one. Be you. You feel me? And as soon as them GLP-1s started coming out. As soon as them GLP-1s started coming out. As soon as niggas they knew that they could get that Ozempic for the low sickers. All of a sudden, I've been fat and I've been skinny. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. She might have just messed up her whole branding. That was her branding for so long. So, it's kind of very difficult for people to view you in the same way after they find out you're a mean person. You're bullying your staff. You know what I'm saying? And you're in the position of power. So, now they feel like they have to do it. You feel me? And then on top of that, you're not even the same person that you said that you were. according to certain people. So I can understand how things can kind of spiral into this predicament that you have yourself in. You know what I'm saying? I might listen to the album. I want to hear if that shit good. I need to know if that shit good though. Anyway,
for artists who were just the biggest on the planet, who everyone knew their album was coming, whether they were going to buy it or not. It was ubiquitous. Where it bites me in the is I have a private page. I have a private page with over 280,000 people who follow me because they support me, because they love me. But even when I post on that page, I'm not hitting their algorithm.
So here, Lizzo's actually giving a lot of good game. Granted, this is one of the perfect moments where the messenger is more important than the message. I know it's like the most common phrase is, nah, don't shoot the messenger. Or, well, actually, if you look through history, messengers were getting shot frequently. Yes, and all they were there to do is deliver a message because people associate the negative message with that individual. But that's neither here nor there. But with Lizzo specifically, people don't like Lizzo, so it doesn't matter what she's saying, it's not going to hit well. It's like Taylor Swift is the opposite. Everybody loves Taylor Swift, or at best they're indifferent, so you might not care what she has to say. So when Taylor Swift comes out and says, oh, the industry's taking advantage of me and I'm going to re-record my albums and I'm going to put them out so I can have ownership over the masters, everybody buys it up. Whereas with Lizzo, they're like, hey, Chunky, go over there. That's what they're saying, not me. But Lizzo is correct. And Lizzo came out during this weird time where radio play helped her a lot, virality helped her a lot, but the fact that Lizzo was so famous was something that we didn't quite understand, most of us. Like the Truth Hurts song, we could understand an Adele. We could even understand a Meghan Trainor, but everyone was confused with Lizzo, which I don't think that she was really in the know, like, or not in the know, but she didn't have the pulse of what we were all paying attention to, which is who is putting money behind this person to make them so successful. On a smaller scale, it's like Coi Leray, whereas like Coi Leray, obviously the image is very different, but Coi Leray had so much money behind her. Think about it. How many real fans does Coi Leray have? She's not even a Trim. Miss Trim from South Carolina is more popping right now than Coi Leray. Now, Coi Leray had a hit, which was in part due to remixing a previous hit from 20 years ago. But hey, listen, I always give her credit for being able to pull out a hit, and that's probably all she'll ever need. But I do think it's really disappointing that people like Lizzo are unable to reach fans. Like she says later on in this video that she had a page that was specifically private for her diehard fans. And now, because of the way that social media algorithms work, she can't reach these people. And that's unfortunate, and it's sad because she worked hard to build that. Anyway, she goes on, promotes the album, and everyone's focusing on this. And the album, BITCH, drops June 5th, and it's via Atlantic, which is important because Atlantic Records, which is like with Warner, they cleaned house. They fired a lot of people and they stopped putting support behind a lot of people and they dropped a lot of people. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if A Boogie got dropped. I know that Meek Mill ended up getting dropped. A bunch of people, they were just like, hey, just get out of here, get out, skedaddle. We're not interested in you. And they just started to focus all their attention onto their best-selling acts. You could tell how much money they put behind Cardi B, who also put in her own effort. But it seems like Lizzo saw the effort that Cardi B was doing and thought that if she matched that, she would maybe get a proportional return. But that's not the case because even on Rolling Stone, they would report this. And they said, BITCH arrived on June 5th via Atlantic. Within its first week, the album sold 2,649 copies and racked up just under 2.7 million on-demand streams, according to music data company Illuminate. In its second week, which is more important, it drops nearly, 75%? Sales dropped to 650 units, while streams dipped to just under 900,000. So this is as close to DOA. I think Sway Lee might have sold more numbers than her. It's a steep drop from her previous album, 2022 Special, which debuted with 39,000 copies.
But is that social media's fault? Or is it because people aren't liking her at the moment? The algorithm is always changing, and it always, like, a lot of times it feels like it's not in the right direction. You feel me? But someone like Lizzo gets way more push, way more views than someone that is trying to make it on their own, or even people that blow up on their own. So I can't think to myself it's social media's fault. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Even though the algorithm is kind of really slow, you're going through your homepage and they're not showing you no one that you follow. It's just random stuff on your homepage. That is actually diabolical. It is actually diabolical. But in that scenario, you have to make it work for you rather than be sad that it's working against you. You know what I'm saying? That's where you need to pivot to bend to social media, honestly, which is pretty ass, honestly. But hey,
sold and 69,000 equivalent album units earned, enough for a number 2 debut on the Billboard 200. B somehow managed to evade the chart entirely. Time is of the essence for most pop artists, and yet her brief absence doesn't entirely explain such an abrupt fall. What does? I think it's a lot of different things. I don't think not her ascension, because I think that might have been real, but she was really a one-hit wonder. She didn't have the motion like that, and she was pushed by all of these late night shows, and everyone started clowning her. Like, the girls were clowning her, the pop world, the pop stands, everybody collectively was making fun of her album sales. And she would have a little mini crash out, throwing her Grammy on the floor on TikTok because she doesn't understand why.
Okay, I promoted my album and people on the internet clown me for it, so I don't know what to do. I promoted my album super hard and people were calling me a desperate flop, so I don't know, guys.
So while this was all going on, I wanted to wait for the album to drop because I thought this was one of the most interesting stories, because people will say, yo, this person didn't put enough effort into promoting it. Lizzo for a month, everybody saw what Lizzo was doing. And most people didn't care about the music. This is why I've been saying this for years, countless years. Hell, even Sean Kine is saying this now with rappers, and he's experienced it because the guy's actually signed several artists. The music doesn't matter for the most part. Do you even know what the music sounds like on Lizzo's new album? You're probably like, nah, but I'm not going to listen to it, even though you may have heard of her promoting it. But one of the points that she made was that, I
honestly didn't see her promoting it. Like, I don't think at all, actually. And maybe that's just my algorithm. But I would when I listen to it, though. I'm actually gonna listen to the album because I feel like Lizzo's a good artist. You know what I'm saying? Right now she has a lot of bad publicity, but I feel like she's a good artist. You know what I'm saying? He said she's a one-hit wonder. I feel like she had to have at least like 2-3 hits. You feel me? I can say I never went out of my way to listen to a Lizzo song. Never. This would be my first time typing in Lizzo on Spotify and trying to listen to some shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, type shit.
And you all heard that an album was dropping, and now you won't even hear about an album. Sometimes, like 2 weeks later, if you're just using these music apps, you're like, whoa, this person dropped? I didn't know that. But with Lizzo, the reason is because she made herself very dislikable. There weren't many likable things about Lizzo. And even if she made incredible music, the fact that she was showing up to places like NBA games, courtside, wearing almost nothing, and her appearance being what it is, which a lot of people weren't fond of, and regardless of what her size, even if she was smaller and was behaving in the way that she was behaving, courtside, people would have found it distasteful. So a lot of these fans, if you were going to talk about Lizzo fans, they likely would have matched the same demo of Meghan Trainor fans, right? All about that bass, that era of overweight women, which is like, you would think like moms would be listening to her. But moms, or middle-aged moms in general, they're not going to want to see the image that Lizzo was putting out there, because they're like, wait, we have kids, and the way that you're dressing and showing yourself, like, we can't even play a music video of you for our kids or around our kids. We can't even go to your show because you're trying to turn this into, I don't know, like a strip club or something. So you kind of lose that part of your fans. And the young girls, they're listening to Sabrina Carpenter. The young girls are listening and fanning out over somebody that is thin and fits some ideal appearance that they want to look like, and also delivers the music. Like, they're listening to Olivia Rodrigo, they're listening to Billie Eilish, and some people will say like Billie Eilish doesn't fit the mold of the image thing, the body image, but Billie Eilish is also not being as lewd as Lizzo was. And Lizzo's attitude and fake attitude, which is something that Coi Leray had, this fake confidence, which wasn't real, of like, oh, I'm the ish, that turned a lot of people away too. And the reason why I say that is because there were 2 other pop stars that dropped after Lizzo, and they should have done more numbers because their careers, they had way higher highs, and we're going to cover them right now. And I didn't see anybody talk about this, because to pull these numbers from Luminate that Rolling Stone is doing, you need to go out of your way to get these numbers. So people are all focusing on Lizzo, but let's just look at BB Rexa, right? A pop artist that I enjoy. Actually, the reason why I found out that her album even dropped, Dirty Blonde, was because I went on my Spotify app. They're like, hey, these are the new albums that dropped today. I was like, oh, cool. Let me listen to this album. I listened to the whole album. And this was an album that she put out, not with a major label, mind you. She put it out via distribution on Empire. And BB Rexa, she dropped this on June 12th. And the first week sales for her were around 19,000 first week. But hold on. And this debuted at 43. So you're probably like, yo, that's a way, way more than Lizzo. Hold on, though. 15,000 of this were pure sales, which were via bundles that she dropped and physicals and things like that with the album. So really, she sold around 4,000, which is in the same ballpark that Lizzo sold. Yet nobody's focused, and BB Rexa has had way bigger songs than Lizzo. She's been in the game longer than Lizzo. Like, she has that I'm Good. She has songs with multiple billions of streams. She was on Me, Myself, and I. That's probably the most recognizable one with G-Eazy for you guys that are into hip hop as well. She had a bunch of pop songs as well. So this girl, or this woman, she's doing the same, but nobody's after her because BB Rexa doesn't have that much hate. Like, people don't want to see her fail, and they don't want to see her fail because she hasn't been moving like Lizzo. And I do think these are decent numbers, even for a BB Rexa to be put out via a distribution like Empire and not a major label. But there's another individual, and that is Jessie Reyez, who dropped the same day as BB Rexa, June 12th. And she dropped her album A Little Vengeance. And Jessie Reyez, she had songs with like Sam Smith and stuff like that. So she has had hit songs with hundreds of millions of streams. Now, she's not as big as a BB Rexa, nowhere close, but I would say she's on a slightly one level below, maybe we could say, Lizzo, or not one full level, but they're in the same ballpark. But Jessie Reyez, her album A Little Vengeance, this would drop on a major, so this would drop on Universal, on Island underneath Universal, and she would do about like 10K first week. I don't know how much of that is pure sales, but she debuted at number 141. And this wasn't really reported. This didn't get as much attention either. And both Jessie Reyez and BB Rexa were putting in a lot of promotion into their albums. But it just goes to show you how important it is to preserve your likability. Or, well, yeah, for Lizzo, she just did everything wrong, frankly. And even people that don't listen to Lizzo's music hate her. Or they don't hate her, but they relish, they experience schadenfreude when it comes to her failing, and they enjoy her failing. But with a Jessie Reyez or a BB Rexa, either you enjoy their music and you know that they released and you listen to it and that's all there is to it, or you don't really pay attention to them. Maybe you hear the hits here and there and you're not really concerned with what their numbers do. And even if you saw their numbers, you're just like, oh, okay. It doesn't make you feel, it doesn't emotionally get you excited, happy to see them fail. You're probably just like, well, what did their last album do? You don't even care. You're just scrolling past it.
Yeah, that's one of those things. That's like, I was watching another video about Blackboy Max, and it's one of those things where once you get to a certain level, like if people perceive you to be under where you actually are, or perceive you to be under a lot of other artists, things of that nature, they want to see you win. Like they're constantly trying to see you win, trying to see you win, trying to see you win. However, once you hit a certain point, now it's like they're not overly trying to push you to win anymore, because they already perceive that you won. So that's where you start seeing a lot more hate, or hate more often, because all the people that were supporting you, like, oh, he made it, he's good now, you know what I'm saying? And that might have been the same thing that happened to Lizzo, where she won, you know what I'm saying, on top of the world at some point, and then, you know, no one really cared to, you know, keep trying to do that same level of support that they did for people in the past, honestly, or for her in the past as she was rising, you feel me? And then plus, you know, all those things that happened that made people dislike her.
And that's the big difference between a Lizzo and these other girls. And the problem for Lizzo is that she cannot recover from this. Like she can't, and it's not just an appearance thing. It's an appearance. It's the whole package that makes Lizzo unlikable, and she doesn't have the undeniable music behind it either. Now, do I feel bad for Lizzo? A little bit, in the sense that I know that she put a ton of effort into this album and getting it released, and she did everything that everybody told her you're supposed to do to have a successful album rollout, and then it doesn't do well, and then now she's going to be a laughingstock, and people are going to call her a flop and not listen to her music that she put a lot of effort into, because it didn't perform well despite her doing everything that people say you're supposed to do to make it perform well. And
that is fucked up. And you know, music is one of those things you have to be in a certain like mental frame, you know, to make the best music. That's why like when people fall off, they fall off hard, because they can't get back to that mental frame to make that good music, because they need to feel like they're in a certain, you know, in a certain place to make that music. A lot of music is about where you are, honestly, or where you perceive you are. You feel me? Like, yeah. So if she doesn't get her mental right, this could be the downfall of Lizzo. But I think she's a good enough artist at this point where I don't think she will like completely fall off. You know what I'm saying? Where she just can't make any good music anymore. But it's definitely gonna be, you know, a battle, honestly. But I'm sure she has plenty of songs sitting. It's just gonna have to be like an undeniable song. Like she has to make a hit, which is a lot easier said than done. You know what I mean?
Emotionally, that's got to be draining because you're like, hey, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. No matter what, I'm going to get hate. But she set herself up for this. And anybody that was around her with some sense could have told her, hey, listen, you don't want people hating you. That is, especially if you're a pop star, that's not what you want. Like, look at Pitbull. You want people to feel lukewarm about you. Like, a lot of you guys probably don't listen to Pitbull's music. Maybe if it comes on, right, a hit. But you're not like, yo, what did Pitbull just drop? But your opinion of Pitbull is just straight neutral. Or maybe it's like a positive meme where you're like, Dale, Mr. Worldwide. So there's this positive affiliation with them. It's like a brand. When you're a pop star, you're this major brand that's not soulless, like some sort of a corporation, but as close to it as possible. Like, you don't want to have any opinions on anything. You don't want to be controversial. You just want to be there to give good times. And that's what a Flo Rida does. That's what a BB Rexa does. Now, she does, I think she puts out like opinions here and there, but you don't really hear them. Like, if you're a guy, that they're not reaching you. Hey, that's what, Flo Rida, Pitbull, that's what all, Enrique Iglesias at one point in time, that's what all these girls and guys at that top do. And it works. Now, with the Sabrina Carpenter, you could say that, yeah, she leans more into the, I guess you could say, like, misandrous themes. Some people would say that, but her fan base is all women and gay guys. So it's not really going to harm her at all. Like, she's not reaching the broad market, like Ariana, for instance, who does not put those types of themes out. Or even a Doja Cat, who does not put those themes out, who have more of a unisex fan base.
Yeah, my girlfriend loves freaking Sabrina Carpenter. She a Sabrina Carpenter fiend, boy. But yeah, bro, I don't want to see, Lizzo fall off forever. She made some bad decisions though. I don't know why she did these things to herself. You feel me? And I don't even think it was on purpose. I think she just didn't, like, she was just, expressing her emotions, expressing how she felt and shit, and just one thing after another, and now she ended up in the place that she's in. And now, because that's one of the worst things that you can do, like, get online, like, and especially while it's happening, like, get online and then make excuses for things. That just gives people more reason to clown you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't go online and express that what people are saying is getting to you. Because what does that do? That makes the people that dislike you, which is a lot of people at this point for Lizzo, it makes them go harder. Like, it's not going to make them be like, oh, we hurt her feelings, let's leave her alone. It's like, no, we got her. You know what I mean? So that's something where it's like, when you get to a certain level of fame, like even with Plaque Max, like Plaque Max, man, started crying on stream. Like, you can't do that. You feel me? But even with like Plaque Max, like he cried on stream about people talking shit about him, and he doubled down. And look at him. He's wearing wigs and shit. So it's kind of like it hit him, and then he doubled down and said, "Fuck that. I'm gonna do what I want." Which you kind of gotta respect. What he's doing is very odd. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of got to respect the fact that he didn't let that shit hold him down. And hopefully Lizzo doesn't let that shit hold her down. You feel me? But anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if nobody told you today, I love you. Peace.